Aduro stock is up more than 100% from May 2022 low to today, almost 120%. And it is literally going up every single day since August 30. The secret is out. People are finding out what's going on with Aduro. I have made 43 videos on Aduro. If you go to my YouTube channel, they are under playlist. And in this video, what I'm going to do is take the video number 1 and I'm going to condense it to as few minutes as possible and take the most important things from that video to make you aware of Aduro, review Aduro for you, so that you can decide if this is something that you want to be part of. Welcome to the new video series. In this video series, I will be introducing you to a new company called Aduro Clean Technologies. We all complain about various problems that we have in our lives. But I like to say that I love problems when it comes to my companies being able to solve them. So let's talk about the big problem. What is that big, huge problem that Aduro is claiming to solve? What is this? This is plastic. What's wrong with plastic? Well, haven't we all heard movies, or haven't we all read or seen pictures on the internet of plastic getting piled on the beaches, in the ocean? We are drowning in plastic. Because of this, in 2025, plastic producers, companies involved in plastic, they have a deadline. They have to figure out how to recycle plastic so that plastic can be produced, recycled, and reused again for production of more plastic or production of other things. Now, if you look at the world right now, you will learn that 6 to 10% of plastic gets recycled. And plastic recycling is also kind of gets bad rep from the point of view of recycling, because it's almost like a scam. A lot of people around the world have, plastic, one-time plastic, and they, put it in a recycling bin because it has that, recycling sign, and they think that it gets recycled. But most of the time, it just ends up being in a landfill. And that's because the world doesn't have a very good solution. The solutions for plastic recycling right now can only deal with a very specific plastic, okay? Very specific type of plastic. The majority, about 80% of plastic, is very hard to recycle. And also the current technologies that are out there, they take too much energy to get the job done. The technologies are not scalable. And as I said before, they only work with certain plastics, very, very specific plastic. And if you have a packaging and it has a little bit of other thing like paper or a little bit of chocolate or in it, it's contaminated and then it gets rejected. So it cannot be recycled. And also, those recycling facilities, they're not profitable on their own. They need subsidies. They need government subsidies, so they cannot be operating in certain locations, like maybe less developed countries cannot afford them. They can only operate in the most developed countries, like maybe England or somewhere in Europe. But most of them require subsidies. And then those technologies behind chemical recycling are old, very old technologies. And so Aduro has developed a technology that is based on water, which is a completely different approach. And by the way, the interest for that approach is absolutely exploding. Why? You see, the main reason is because Aduro developed this technology, and it wasn't an overnight success. They've been working on it for years and years. It's only now that recently Aduro became public, and only now it is introducing that solution. But what separates Aduro's technology is that Aduro can process or recycle plastic the 80% that nobody else can. And what makes Aduro's technology so unique is that because it's based on water, it takes much less energy. It's less energy intensive. It operates at lower temperatures than traditional technologies, resulting in less energy use. It has lower operating expenses and lower capex. And that is absolutely huge because, as I said, the prior technologies, the old technologies, they need subsidies. Aduro's technology was built from the beginning with a profit in mind. So it doesn't need subsidies, and therefore it can go into developed world, but it can go into less developed locations simply because it is profitable, and also it requires less capex. So to build a recycling facility based on Aduro's technology costs less money to operate, and it costs less money to build, therefore providing a higher return on investment. Aduro's technology, as I said, it works with all types of plastic, not just the best 20% of the plastic feed. Doesn't need government subsidies, where with the legacy technologies, you have to invest and build a huge plant right away, hundreds of millions of dollars, but then you have to feed that plant. So not only you have to spend a lot of money, you have to feed that plant with the feed that's everybody else is fighting for. So anybody that builds a big facility, it's only for big companies. It's not for small companies. But then those big companies, they have to feed that facility, and they have to import garbage, plastic garbage from overseas. So problems are an opportunity for solutions. And solutions is what generates revenues. But now, just because somebody has a solution doesn't mean you as a shareholder are going to get rewarded for that solution. You only get rewarded for the solution if your solution is actually profitable solution. If you need government subsidies, then what's the point? You can have a solution, but if the solution is costing you money providing that solution, that's not gonna enrich you. And then the quickest way to revenues is the licensing model. So what you have here is a revenue model for the licensing model, okay? And as you can see here, 95 million of revenues, 2027, with adjusted EBITDA of 78.6. So you can see how huge that profit margin is, because this is what licensing model is. What does it mean to you as a shareholder once the company is successful in generate this kind of revenue profile? Well, what do you think, let's just call it 80 million. What do you think 80 million of EBITDA is worth? So let's do 80 times 30. That's $2.4 billion. What they don't tell you on this chart is that this model is based on many small clients. Over the last 10 months or so, the company has been flooded with interest from the big players. And there's a lot of big players. One of those players, one, can generate them $100 million or $95 million of revenues. One. So now, you tell me, what would the revenue look like if the company landed 10 of those clients? $1 billion revenue? $1 billion revenue with such huge profit margin? Do you think I would be outrageous to think that the company could have a market cap of 20, 30, 40 billion? It's very easy to get excited about the upside of any investment, but especially Aduro. I mean, what's not to like possibility of making 100 times your money? I get excited. You know, if you believe in the thesis, you get excited. But one of the most important things for me is the margin of safety. But if something goes wrong and you had to sell your technology or the company, like right now, to somebody, what could you get for this?
This is a great question. If you ask the CEO, so that's me, it's probably over $100 or so million for the patents, easily.
Thank you for watching.